This is a pleasant and contemplative view of the ocean and an inviting bench from which to enjoy the view. The print is overall slight to gray, and the angle of view is behind the bench, slightly lower, and that angle is not visually explained. The details in the lowlights are slightly obscured, especially in the grass-earth areas and the dark areas of the bench itself. On selections and sharpening, enlarge the image to correct the whiteness at the layer's edge. Converting photographs into graphic elements is fun, and this is well done. However, the directed aim of the view is less clear as the objects are slightly obfuscated by the similarly graphic rendering. Consider highlighting the direction you want the viewer to read, and then the light through the window is quite bright and undefined. Not that the through the window view needs definition, but it is a significant part of the overall view. The very fine detail in this photograph invites the viewer's investigation. However, the foreground is cropped in such a way as to deny the viewer a place from which to establish an overall context. The architectural lines are accurately done. Usually, cathedral windows are quite spectacular, but in this image they are muted. Is this an opportunity to create a separate layer and enhance the content of the window, which is such a large segment of the photograph? Very well done. The details are clear, concise, and the technical quality is quite high overall. The point of view is concise, although the building is less visible and might have been interesting to view the cemetery in the context of the larger landscape. Overall, a well-composed landscape. Concise technical detailing. This is very consistent with 19th century views of monumental architecture, focusing on the decorative elements. It's a very effective visual display. For this kind of work, using perspective control within the transform rubric of Photoshop would help with aligning the vertical and horizontal lines. Perhaps consider too lining up the three central columns in the rectangle as they are off-center in this view. The lines of the poles make this a very interesting print, especially combined with the quality of the tonal ranges. The contrails add to the graphic composition of the photograph. I would advise a different mounting system, as the photograph itself is harmed by this kind of trimming, and it's always a challenge to get the board to trim cleanly. Consider making this a vertical composition, as the ascending poles are the essential element in the photograph. This is a nicely romanticized view of the sailboat within the context of the harbor and lighthouse. When making layers, example the sky, enlarge the print as much as 200% and clean the edges of the layer, as the white edges are visibly evident, ultimately distracting from the overall appearance and revealing the magic of the photographer's skill set. This image is slightly over-sharpened, which implies that the original focus may have been slightly soft. Infrared appearance makes this an engaging view, especially with the snow. The light is active and there's detail in the lowlights. Well done. I've already suggested a different mounting system, so no need to repeat it again. The eye is directed right to left to the distant view, and while that's not a problem, generally we read photographs left to right, and that's something to consider. The center of the image is the shadow of the opposing wall, suggesting a higher visual importance than was perhaps intended.